forward 50, bouncing ball with Donald Tippin. Woody's sweating on it, shrugged off the tackle and kicked the GMHBA goal of the day. Back here at the MCG, it's Essendon 3-1-19, Carlton 1-5-11. Before we get to Keith Kingsley and Heath Buck down to Tommy Morris, how's that rain falling at the moment as we check in with you?
It's getting heavier and heavier at the moment, fellas. No injury worries for either team in the first quarter. The only slight concern was Reece Palmer with his nose. Went off the field with a blood draw and was also tested for concussion. He came back on and he's fine. So both teams playing with a full fit 22 at the moment.
Thank you. Chuck downstairs, of course, for Total Tools. Heath Buck, bags might attend. Numbers?
Yeah, uncontested marks in favour of the Blues, 32-9. That's the way Carlton are playing at the moment. Pretty slow football, Kent, by the Blues. They've won more of the ball, and the disposal efficiency is quite good, but it's mostly from the uncontested mark. Short kick, 75% to the Bombers, 62. The Bombers happy to play slingshot footy on Carlton turnovers. Inside 50s in favour of Carlton, 13-10. Tackles in favour of the Bombers, 23-20. Bombers up in the clearances, 14-10. Leuenberger doing a really good job in the ruck. He's had 6 hit-outs to advantage. Contested possessions in favour of the Bombers by 10, 42-32. Individually, Hurley's had 9 touches playing on Wiedering. Watson 9, Heppel 8, and a Parrish 6 and a goal in that first term for the Blues. Plowing's been good down back with 9 touches. Gibbs got into the game after a tardy start with 9 touches, and Cripps has been busy, as to the skipper Mark Murphy, 8 touches apiece.
Thank you for that, Bucky. Comprehensive as always for Fags. Might attend. Kingsley, what do we make of the first quarter, and I suppose what do we make of the conditions impacting on what we've seen?
Yeah, look, as Bucky said, the Blues wanting to maintain possession of the footy and chip the ball around and then pick their time to go forward. But given the conditions, it's a little bit risky. Essendon have been able to, the 3 goals they've kicked have been from half back. So the Blues just have to be careful of that. Look, defensively, the Blues have been really good, really holding Essendon across half, or Essendon half forward, half back. But they're just not having really anything Bucky to go forward to. Casbolt and Cruiser are supplying a good contest, even Silvani and Wiedering, but they just don't really seem to have any smalls on the ground. The only goals come from Cripps, who's a midfielder. Yeah. They just don't have those small forwards there. Dale Thomas turned the ball over a few times.
Would there be instructions to go in a little bit quicker? I mean, a lot of it might have been slow movement going in. It gives Essendon a chance to set up defensively and really crowd that forward line.
Look, I understand the concept of slowing it down, keeping possession of it, because Essendon had that guy behind the play, but at some time you've got 3 tools down there. You've got to roll the dice, get in quick, and give your smalls a chance one-on-one to win the ball on the ground and kick goals.
Don't forget, of course, to check out the AFL instant replay clips on Facebook, Twitter or Snapchat. One of the highlights, of course, Anthony McDonald tipping Woody's goal early on. Max Gawn, just some information regarding that hamstring. We'll see a surgeon tomorrow. Scans have revealed there's a little bit of tendon involvement in the hamstring, so that might be a massive blow for Melbourne, of course.
Don't like that, Kingy. That's bad.
Yes, Total Tools injury update you didn't want to hear. Second quarter for Harvey Norman. Here's Benny Cass.
Cruiser up against Leuenberg. That was a spirited battle in the first term. Down to Zach Merritt. Goes round the corner. Nice kick. Hurley couldn't have Heppel. It was. Couldn't get a handle on it. Spills to Rowe. His hand pass was a wild one. Coming the other way was Merritt. Did wonderfully well. Fumble by Heppel, though. Finds it on the ground. Will want to go inboard. He's got Langford, who's got metres on McCready. If it sits, he can have a shot. He fumbled, though. Not at the right time for Essendon Footy Club. And Langford wasn't great. He just looked a little at 6s and 7s there, and the ball's gone out for a throw. And should have done better there, the Bombers.
Interesting that Essendon's 3 oldest players, Kelly, Goddard and Watson, have all started on the bench this term.
They have. So throw in. Hooker blocking. Not sure what he was doing there. Ball on the deck. There's 19 players over it. One of those is Simpson. And the umpire calls for a throw up. So inside 50 for the Bombers. Opening minute of this second term.
Collier in the right forward pocket is wrapped up by Doherty and Cruiser. And we will get a ball up. Sounds like my law firm. I'm guessing your law firm, Tommy's got a hyphenated name amongst one of them.
Move along, Kingy.
Simpson, quick snap out of the pack towards half-back. And Mitch Brown coming up and marking on the chest. It's a Mitch Brown sort of trademark. Everything on the chest for Mitch, and especially on a wet day, it'll suit him. Just lobs a kick towards the hot spot, says Danaher and Hooker, you fly. Danaher couldn't mark, good fist Rowe. Front of the pack, Cruiser trying to play the role of Rowe, but Danaher got a quick snap. Kick was partially smothered. Fantasia going through might have been taken high. Umpire said no. And now it spills out the back. Parrish all dumped as he went to kick. Heppel now trying to pick it up. It's like a rugby scrum right now with about 12 players around the footy. And we will get a ball up about 30 out from the Bombers' goal. We'll keep an eye on the Wombat Gully Plant Farm matchup, see if anything's changed with Kent Kingsley, who's here for Goddings this afternoon. Ball rolls out of the ruck contest. Simpson goes off the ground in the left back pocket. Stanton with the outside of the right boot as he's dragged down. Fisted away by Rowe, and it's out of bounds.
Mitch Shields been throwing. Could have marked it on the chest.
Essendon fans may be wanting to deliver it. That's not going to happen. And we'll get a boundary.
Has that one ever been called for a punch out like that? I don't think it has, is it?
Oh, I think a couple.
Have they?
Yeah, maybe when they're a bit closer to the boundary. So throw in. State metres around from Essendon's goal. Leuenberger and Cruiser wrestling. Ball spills at Williamson in there, the youngster, and he's immediately tackled.
Yeah, quite good in the first quarter. The youngster in his first game to 6 touches for Fags might have 10. Tom Williamson from North Ballarat, pick 61 in last year's draft.
Stoppage fest at the moment. Comes to Parrish. Flying shot at goal. Getting back. And saving the day was Rowe.
Benny, it's actually stipulated when it's in a marking contest that they shouldn't be calling it deliberate, no matter how deliberate it actually is when it's a marking contest.
Okay. So margin now 9. 3-2 plays 1-5. Harvey Norman, K-Rock second quarter.
Ball in the right back pocket for the Blues with Marchbank. Sends a high ball looking for Cruiser. Leuenberger from behind the fist. Plowman at the front for the Blues. Tried to share it with Pickett, but it's off his hands and out of bounds for a boundary thrown at just around from the interchange gates. Right under our best seats in the house, thanks to Warralilly, our number 1 ticket holder again in 2017. Check out their great range of land as part of that great estate out there on Barnheads Road. Hocking, handball up to Heppel. Zach Merritt tight against the boundary line. Snaps a left foot kick high towards half forward and Hooker back with the flight. McCready could mark. Through the pack comes Collier, Heppel, Hooker. And then a left foot kick into the pocket. Danaher front position in front of Rowe. Good strong mark. A Hamlin hanger contender. A true one-on-one contest. Danaher stuck the backside out to ensure Rowe couldn't get a fist on the Sherrin. And he'll go back and have a shot from tight in the left forward pocket. Not ideal for a left footer, but the ones at Danaher you don't expect to kick, he does. The ones you do expect to kick, he doesn't.
Yeah, I think he's a good chance here. And like I said, King, really good use of the body. Rowe's been really good on Danaher up till now, but Danaher just a little bit too big and able to hold the ball on one side and take the mark.
Kicked one, he'll go with an old-fashioned drop punt and he'll leave it to the near side. So 1 goal 1 for Joe Danaher. The margin is double figures for the first time, 10 points, 3-3-21. Essendon, Carlton 1-5-11 on the K-Rock Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Just warm back gully, guys. Now Heppel's running with Cripps, and he's actually trying to drag him away from contests. So they're obviously seeing that the damage Cripps does at stoppages and trying to get him away from him.
It's actually starting to play pretty well, Dyson Heppel, up to 11 touches for Fags, might have 10. Lockie Plowman's been busy across half-back for Carlton. He's had 10 touches.
They've moved the ball outside 50, the Blues. Simpson's kick. He wanted Palmer. It was spoil affected by Bagley. And the ball has gone out for another throw. You get those stoppage numbers when you can. Bucky, we've had a number of throw-ins, as you'd expect. Wet, greasy conditions here at the MCG. Lights on. And ball spending a lot of time on terra firma.
37, Benny, for Fags, might have 10 stoppages so far in the game.
Casbolt slaps it away from that stoppage zone. Spills to Zahar Rakas inside 50. Parrish, half volley, couldn't take it, did really well. They got it to Heppel. Oh, dragged down. Wonderful tackle. That's holding the ball. That matchup Kent told us about for Wombat Gully Cripps. And he applied the tackle on Heppel and wins the free kick set up back.
Handball off to young Williamson, who goes short and puts it on the chest of Simpson. So the first gamer onto the chest of the 267 gamer. Least experienced, most experienced. Curnow brings it to our broadcast wing and Doherty. Will now kick into space for White. The hang of the kick's not bad. It just was well weighted enough to avoid Collier getting involved. He stands the mark.
So this is where they're slow, King. This is where they're very slow.
White lowers the vision. Cruiser on the lead. It's a wonderful kick. And there was a good little bit of work going on off the ball to provide a little bit of space for Cruiser to run into and have this shot on their second goal. But White's delivery was pinpoint as well and gives Cruiser a chance to kick the Blues second, which they need. They trail by 10, but just to stay in touch on a wet old Melbourne afternoon in early April. Cruiser 21 hitouts and 11 touches against Melbourne last week. And kicks a goal there. He's third of the season in game number 3. And the Blues are back to within 4 points, 2-5-17. Essendon, 3-3-21, 7 minutes gone. Second quarter, Harvey Norman scoreboard.
And that's what makes Cruiser such a great ruckman, his ability to push forward there. Leuenberger has to go with him, and he's just too mobile for Leuenberger. And like you said, King, a little bit of stuff off the ball was allowed Cruiser to get a free run at it. And a little bit slow, but you don't mind him being slow when he can just lower his eyes and hit a target like that. And great finish there by Cruiser in the wet.
So Blues hang tough. Margin is 4. And back in the middle, Cruiser and Leuenberger. It's been a good battle between the big men. Cruiser got the honours, I think, now with that goal. Leuenberger won the tap. It'll straight to Murphy. His hand pass to no one in particular. Oh, off the ball right was dumped by Mitch Brown. It was over the top of it. Heppel, who might win a free. In fact, it's play on to Silvani. Advantage free kick. High ball not shot. That was the option. Cripps 1 bite, 2 bites. Good mark. Ball off hands. Minor score. So a flurry of activity. All Blues at the moment. 2-6 playing 3-3. 3-point margin in favour of the Bombers. Harvey Norman.
Goddard wants to put the kick into space from McGrath. It'll skid away from him. He'll try and keep it alive near the boundary line. Did very well, the young man, to get into the path of Watson. Kick for McDonald, Tippenwoody. Is knocked away by McCready. Picked up by Parrish, though, in his delivery for Fantasia. Did he hold it long enough? No, not in these wet conditions, said the umpire. Fantasia's quick kick after recovering the ball. Hooker tried to keep it alive, and in doing so has only succeeded in knocking it out of bounds. So we'll get a stoppage rather than allowing the behind for Carlton to set up their structure. It was a good bit of work by young McGrath, the number 1 draft pick. Looks like a hardened veteran already. Front of the pack, McDonald, Tippenwoody hit it hard, and then he just fumbled as he went to turn the corner. And it is out of bounds again, boundary throwing.
Well, we spoke about before, Kingy, that Heppel just coming away from the contest at the moment. He's got Murphy now. He's dragging him away. Murphy's just switched off him and decided he's going to the contest instead.
Leuenberger and Cruiser engaged. Neither get a clear run at it. Wrapped up McCready. Dumped in the tackle. And we're going to get a ball up. So about 25 out. We'll get a ball up. And he's making all sorts of hand gestures off the ball. Danaher back to Goddard. Goddard, quick snap out of the pack. Simpson did well going back, backhanded it to his own advantage and then banged it on the boot towards half back. Silvani and Brown knocked away. Here's Petrevsky-Seaton trying to barge his way through. Watson on hands and knees. Fight a handball back into the path of Kelly. Kelly a high kick. It's off the outside of the boot, and the Blues are going to come up with it. Although a drop mark by Pickett. Parrish, and there's going to be a free kick coming back, and it's going to go to the Bombers, but Pickett would like that time over again, Benny.
He would. He dropped an absolute port even in these conditions. You've got to hang on to those. Unfortunately, the spillage was dangerous at centre-half forward and Fantasia. Probably outside his distance range. He'll kick from about 56. Might look for a short option. Carlton getting back in numbers. He just pops it 20 out. They'll fly over the back hooker. Couldn't mark. Ball on the deck. Doherty bursts through some congestion. Goes wide. That's a good kick. And he's got right. Or Palmer it is. The former Giant. He goes down the line. He wants Wiedering. Wiedering and Hurley. It's a foot race. Ball on the deck. Wiedering came the way was Ambrose. Did really well. And Wiedering's hit the deck. The kick from Ambrose wasn't great, although he's able to go back and find it on the ground. Still down, Wiedering hasn't moved. Goddard sweeps a hand pass to the former Cat Brown. Brown was pushed off the kick. It wasn't great. It might sit for Simpson. Coming the other way, Merritt. Oh, he did wonderfully well. Kept the ball in front of Merritt's goal and Silvani from behind. Hold the pill.
Michael Hurley slow to get up from that contest, but still down is Jacob Wiedering. But while that's happening, running into an open goal. Is that the debutant? It's Williamson on the run, missing to the right, and we still have Jacob Wiedering lying prone on the turf on the outer side. What did you see, gentlemen, on the replay?
Good bump, and Wiedering's head's gone straight into Hurley, so clash of heads, as Bucky said, and wow, that looks painful from here.
Oh, I think the Ambrose one. He got done twice, Wiedering. Ambrose coming one way, his head was collected by Ambrose, and then crashed back into that of Hurley.
Not only that, he twisted his ankle on the way down. So he's in a world of
he's up to his two. He's got some claret, yeah.
I'll say this has got concussion test written all over it. I don't think we will see young Jacob Wiedering again today, which is a massive blow for the Blues. Such a talented young player. and he basically became a pinball, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Between them, it looked pretty bad.
He's actually, you hate to jump to conclusions. The good news is for Carlton supporters and for Jacob Waring, he's actually running from the field, which is is great.
So he'll be.
He doesn't know who he is, though.
He thinks he's Paul Meldrum wearing number 23. While that's all happening, they're consulting with Michael Hurley, who was part of that collision, the Essendon medical staff.
Well, we must stress too, it was a complete accident. It was a bump by Ambrose, and then collected Hurley on the way through. He's gone straight down into the rooms, Jacob Wiedering, to get that gash on his head assessed.
So Hurley's going to have the kick in and will go to himself. Bring it towards our broadcast side of the ground. The MCC members, big fist from Casbolt back inside forward 50, where Merritt will clean up for the Bombers. Off a step, sends a kick to the wing, wanting Parrish, knocked away by Doherty. Quick kick forward, Simpson, Gibbs, fumbled, now picks it up. Ball spills out in the tackle. Cruiser couldn't take it cleanly off the deck. How will it fall for Pickett? Pickett will go with the outside of the right boot, but like a goalkeeper, cleaned up by Hurley, but banging it back onto the chest of White.
He will White sideways to Simpson, racking him up Buckingham, and he's up to the veteran.
Yeah, Kate Simpson, possession number 11, Fags might at 10.
And 267. He goes with a squirting ball he wanted. His man, 2 bites, couldn't mark. It was Palmer, gave it to Gibbs, outside of the boot, it'll land in the square. Casbolt getting back, couldn't mark. Defence good from the red and the black. And the ball out for a throw in 3 metres around from Carlton's goal. They've done all the attacking in the last 6 or 7 minutes. Margin is only 2-7 plays 3-3. Wet conditions here at the MCG for this round 3 contest. Throw in Cruiser. Tried to get it down, was stolen by Watson. Gave it to Goddard. Goddard round the corner. Marchbank bobbled straight off his chest. Spills out to Williamson. Did really well in traffic. Now he's gone. He was still playing. It should have been holding the ball. Surely, umpire. The players are actually looking to suggest that's got to be a free. The umpire didn't pay it. Play on a Merritt, who bangs it to the wing.
Well, I don't know whether he was tackled or it was just knocked out in the attempt to tackle.
Well, that's the holding the ball. He went tried to get around 8 blokes.
Either way, Rose got the footy.
Neither way, the umpire didn't call it. So
he thought he was in Ararat then, Tom.
Doherty. Kick towards half. He's going to have it again. He's been very good this afternoon, young Williamson.
Good size too. Bucky mentioned that. He's got plenty of it. 189 and 81, but looks a bit taller than that.
Sends a left foot kick towards Cruiser. Fist from behind Danaher. Kelly out the back, keeping right company. Ball spills up though. Tight in the pocket. Kerridge wants the goal square. Fisted away by Silvani. It'll bobble into the goal post. The left hand upright. And Carlton now 2-8-20. Essendon 3-3-21. Although I do have them having 3 rush behinds in that Bucky.
4 rush behinds according to my Fags might at 10 stat sheet, Kingy.
Yeah, which is more accurate than me.
So Kelly goes with a long ball from the kick in and off hands and out for a throw in 50 out from Carlton's goal. They've set the wall up, Kent, the Blues, haven't they? They're locking in. Every player basically is in 1 quarter of the MCG.
And the defenders are really taking really good defensive positions on the Essendon forwards to where they've got front position virtually every time the ball comes out.
Watson, and there's that wall with a flying kick. Indiscriminate straight onto the chest of White, so it'll come back inside 50. A high ball. Cruiser's there. Was he pushed off the footy? Umpire said no. Casbolt was dispossessed. They're working hard. Danaher down there. Defensively, ball on the deck. It spills to Murphy. Murphy's flying shot. A goal is a goal. Through a sea of legs, the skipper found a passage. And a GMHBA contender from the number 3 for the Blues, and they are in front. 3-8-26. Essendon 3-3-21. 15 gone. Harvey Norman, K-Rock, second quarter.
Yeah, great front square there by Murphy. The contest in. Cruz a bit unlucky not to get a free kick, I reckon, being pushed underneath the ball, but Murphy, just like Cripps was before, front square, able to get the ball and kick a great goal there. Carlton are really controlling the ball the last 5 or 6 minutes and been able to keep that in there forward half, and that was a great result from that.
Yeah, 8-5 inside 50s in their favour, and also got on top in the tackling. Kent for Fags might have 10, 14-9 this quarter in favour of the Blues, although the Bombers have won more of the ball, 4 disposals more.
We'll get downstairs shortly to Tom Morris for an update on, of course, Jacob Wiedering as Carlton either go inside forward 50 again. Kerridge couldn't find it on the ground. McGrath could, but missed Hocking with the handball. Merritt, handball into space, but also missed the target. And Brown had to go again after his own footy. Merritt, Brown near the boundary line. He'll keep it alive and bang it on the boot towards the wing. Hooker front position, knocked away by Marchbank, picked up by Watson, gave it to Heppel. Heppel on the near side logo, back to Watson. What's he got ahead of him? Not a lot, so he had to check the kick to Goddard. Well weighted, hit it in stride. Now it's about the skid. It'll roll, it'll go through for a goal. GMHBA goal of the day contender. The finish was classy from Brendan Goddard, but the wonderful kick of Joe Watson to hit him in stride and allow him to run and to finish, and the Bombers take back the lead in the blink of an eye. 4-3-27, leading Carlton 3-8-26. Kent Kingsley here for Goddings this afternoon.
Bucky, one of the rare occasions that Carlton will let Essendon back through the middle of the ground, and you just can't let the quality of play of Watson and then Goddard get the ball in the middle of the ground without any pressure, because they're going to be finishing.
Yeah, and the fact that it was really clear clearance by the Blues out of the centre by Bryce Gibbs makes it more disappointing. They can control the ball deep from their back line too, Kent. So, yeah, great goal by the Bombers, but probably poor defending by the Blues through the corridor, as you mentioned.
Still no sign of Jacob Wiedering down here, guys. I'll keep you in the loop.
Yeah, they need him back out of the middle. They might go forward. Rowe had to be quick. McDonald, Tippin, Woody coming the other way. His kick was level for Chelsea. Bills to Thomas. Now to Cripps. They'll go forward, the Blues. His kick off the side of the boot, but coming out is Petreski-Seaton. 1 by 2 bites the youngsters marked. 40 from home. And he shows a bit. Didn't play at all in the Just Like Training series. Hand passes off to Gibbs. And Gibbs is flying shot at goal, left-hand side. Inaccurate again. 3-9. Plays 4-3. 18 gone. Harvey Norman.
Brown to himself, and then a beautiful ball for Heppel. He got good protection from Hooker in front of the MCC members. Heppel, high kick to the wing. Don't know who won't get a run out. A lot of fans. The judge applied to the ball best. Came off Parrish. Short to Thomas, who's had a couple of possessions in the last couple of minutes. Goes from one edge of the centre square almost to the other to Petreski-Seaton. Made his senior debut as a 13-year-old at Halls Creek in remote WA. A prodigious young talent. And he's short to McCready.
13.
That's illegal. That's Palmer. The former Giant and Docker. The kick into the forward pocket. Gleeson. Kick ricochets off the back of a teammate and out of bounds. Might have been Mitch Brown getting in the way. And a boundary throw-in. About 35 around from the left-hand behind post. 19 minutes gone second quarter. Harvey Norman scoreboard. We are locked away. 3-9. Plays 4-3.
How did he go that day, Kingy?
On debut.
6 goals, 5 apparently.
That was only in a half. They took him off at half time. They rested. They didn't manage him at half time.
Past the bedtime.
Yeah, it was a night game.
He could have played the half-time game as well.
He did. He kicked 8 in the Little League at half time.
Yeah.
And we've got another throw-in. We'll have a stoppage. So in the meatloaf pocket, 20 gone. Nearly into time on in this second term. Margin is 6. 3-9 plays 4-3. Sia players around at Gibbs. Tries to funnel a hand pass to Murphy. He in turn to Thomas. Had to be quick, hurried ball. Carried shot, dropped it. Might have been playing anyway, so there might have been touched. Palmer's in there. Over the footy, so too Heppel. Rain's starting to really belt down now. Tommy Morris will need some sort of apparatus to keep him dry. And we will have another stoppage inside forward 50 for the Blues. Bar that Goddard goal, it's been all the Blues in the last 10 minutes of this one.
Has been. Here's Merritt, non-preferred right. He kicks towards half-back. Good contest, Hooker. And also Plowman. Handball up from White. Just got up a little bit gingerly in the handball. Just set things up for the Bombers to attack through Fantasia. But Rowe back there cleaning up. The skipper, Murphy, goes along the line with smart play. Simpson just fisted it on 20 metres over his head. Casbolt, Kerridge. Handball up for Curnow. C to K to C. And then a kick to the top of the square. No Mark Gleeson for the Bombers, but Goddard there to help him out. And the kick to get out is a good one for Parrish. Can't miss Parrish in the lime green boots, but he's not alone. And the more fluoro arrangement of Zaharakis in game 150. He goes short. Not a great kick for length for him. Not a great 150 so far. Bucky for David Zaharakis number-wise.
Yeah, only 5 disposals for Fags, not a 10. Kingy. James Kelly quiet as well, 2 touches, and Langford, the boy we just saw then, he's been very quiet as well, just the 1 touches. And apart from that goal in the first quarter, Tippin Woody, just 1 disposal in his first half so far.
Absolutely belting down now. Animals are starting to pair up. In Melbourne, Gibbs goes to half forward. And that ball has gone out for another stoppage. So it's a stoppage fest here at the MCG. This time it's just 4 to the wing for the Blues.
Still no Wiedering?
No, that's, as mentioned, Tommy, it may be a concussion sort of arrangement, 20 minutes off, because it took him some time to get to his feet after that collision with Ambrose and Hurley. Watson was tackled. Off the ground goes Gibbs. Right, was he tackled without the ball by Bagley? Umpire says no. And again, we will have another stoppage. Ball has moved 7.5 metres closer to the Blues goal. Still 60 out. They fashion something. It's going to be a bit of luck. You're going to take your chances today. It's 3-4. And we're nearly at half-time. Casbolt out the back. Couldn't get a handle on it. Spills to Heppel. High ball. A one-on-one. Marchbank should have the high. McDonald tipping Woody's got the pizzazz and did well. Got at the hooker. Hand pass over the top to Goddard. He was tackled by Kerridge. Ball spills to Ambrose. And the Bombers can go forward. That's a good kick.
Onto the chest of Zaharakis. They've called him into the game. And then a beautiful ball. No, didn't get to Heppel. It was touched on the way through, so we had to give a handball off. Goddard pulled the trigger on the kick and mishit it. But the mishit will land in the path of Langford. We'll take it to the boundary line, though. I'm happy to see it out.
Just having to Barry Crocker of Langford. Just can't. I mean, it was a poor kick, but he's struggling to get hold of the ball.
The rain really teeming down now as they tell us kick-to-kick has been cancelled post-game. Car park closed because of the downpour yesterday.
Barry Crocker. We had Jimmy Hannon yesterday.
Andrew throwing. Jimmy Hannon. Third. Through traffic, Zaharakis. Something spectacular, but the kick off the boot not so much as it bounces in the left forward pocket. Tippin Woody tries to keep it alive. And we'll get a boundary throw.
Just for the Blues, Fags might attend. Kingy, Matthew Wright, very quiet. I thought these conditions would have really suited the small forward. He's Carlton's leading goal kicker with 6 this year. He's only had 2 disposals so far in his first day.
Of course, kicked 23 last year, I think, to win the goal kicking.
Massive amount.
Boundary throw in, trying to grab it out of the ruck. Was Hooker, you can't do that anymore. Gibbs. Clearing kick out of the pack came from Plowman, or rather Marchbank. Ambrose. Collier. Fresh area almost. Landon Kerridge, whose handball's missed the target. Watson will be first there. Just scooped it up into the path of Hocking, who's been ineffective today. Collier there as well. He hasn't seen a lot of it, but they're just socket off the ground. That man being involved was right, but it's only into the path of Kelly. Got good protection from Brown. Gleeson tries to shrug off the tackle. Williamson, great tackle. And out of bounds it goes. And then Williamson, with a little spike on debut, goes and roughs up the lightest bloke on the ground.
Yeah, hungry to KB there. Just handball to himself. Old Marty Gleeson. And we'll have another throw-in. All those throw-in numbers. Lucky they might be setting a PB here for season 2017. Watson couldn't get a handle on it. Petreski-Seaton coming the other way, could have been high. Umpire says no. Watson sits over it. Umpire says I'll throw it.
We have 52 stoppages in the game so far for Fags Mitre 10. Ball-ups and throw-ins at 43. Throw-ins 29, Benny.
Stoppages in the construction site. Petreski-Seaton and Watson. And again, I think we're going to have another one make that 50.
Been impressive. Tom Williamson, 9 disposals and 4 tackles.
Bucky's aroused. New favourite player.
I like him.
Loves him. Maybe hopefully Blues win, but you can get down there and interview him. Petreski-Seaton ripped off it by Heppel. Then Merritt was ripped off it by Murphy. Murphy's kick just inside 50. Gleeson was taken high. And by Reece Palmer. And free kick. Nothing in it, just slippery conditions. Tackle a little high, and Gleeson from half-back can relieve the pressure.
Expect me to be getting around in number 31. The streets of Werribee during the week.
Well, kick to the wing. Hooker dropped what he should have taken on the chest. Stanton there to help him out. Merritt tight against the boundary line, jammed it on the boot, but Cripps is able to get back and mark. Wants to quickly get on with it with a snapping ball over his left shoulder. It's not a great kick. Gleeson did very, very well with a ball that was doing a lot of things through the air. He's got the double fist on it and got it out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
Not a bad kick from Cripps in the end. A bit of coverage there, Kent, inside forward 50 stoppage.
Yeah, the Blues are playing this with the conditions really well. They're great at stoppages. They're continuing to get the ball out of bounds and set that wall up behind play. So playing right in their hands at the moment.
Off the ground goes Collier for the Bombers. Buys about 30 metres and gets it out of bounds in front of Hooker. And also young McCready. We've got a boundary. Now, young McCready, there's a lot to like about Harrison McCready. Pick 47 from the national draft out of Henty. So they've got a boy from Henty and a boy from Waller, which are at 20 k's down the road from each other with Sam Rowe of the Blues. Cruiser, the tap down. Simpson over the footy at the front of the pack. Collie goes off the ground again. Langford tried to pick it up one-handed. That won't work on a day like today. It skids out of bounds. Boundary throw-in at the 26-minute mark, Benny. 27 apiece.
Jacob Wiedering up from the dugout, bandaged up around the spine. Looks like he might come back on, boys, hopefully.
A throw-in. Leuenberger. That'd be good. They need him, the Blues. Free kick. It's coming back.
Yeah, against Cripps for third man up, Benny.
He went third man up, and they disadvantaged Essendon there because Watson was away. Had to come back to Leuenberger, who now gives to Merritt, who now chips it to Watson, who nobody manned up, and they had 20 seconds to get on him. Nobody did it, so he's marked. Just forward of the wing, signalling this way and that way. Inside 50, Zaharakis up, couldn't mark, so too Hooker. Curnow tackled him, Hooker got a flying hand pass. 20 out, taken by Fantasia Orazio. Razzle dazzle, as he called himself. And the ball has gone out now for another stoppage.
Just looking at the rain on the roof of the interchange benches, Ben, it gives you an idea of just how heavy it really is here.
It is absolutely persisting down, Kingy.
Boundary throw-in is shallow one. Cruiser somehow tapping it down towards Simpson. He got it on the bounce. Pick looking for Pickett, won't mark that. Here's McGrath. He's wrapped up in a tackle, and that should be a ball up. About 45 out from the Bomber goal as we're in the shadows of half-time. The second quarter, thanks to Harvey Norman, Cryo and Warren Ponds.
Not many shadows here this afternoon, Kingy.
Wouldn't have thought. Knocked away by Leuenberger. Zaharakis, Collier didn't take possession but just palmed it down to his boot, went up about 15 metres. Now Cruz always had a fresh area in doing so, has hurt Cade Simpson. Simpson tried to smother the kick, it's fallen for Heppel. Watson a quick snap forward, wanted Danaher. Here's Langford now trying to get involved in the contest. Merritt, right foot kick. Goal square, it's 2-on-1. Asking a lot here of Stanton. Fisted away by Doherty. Kelly front of the pack, snaps it over his left shoulder. They'll contest in the goal square, and Stanton couldn't mark. Rowe had a fresh area on the fist. Stanton couldn't take it. It's in the left back pocket for the Blues, and Zaharakis is happy to see it out alongside Dale Thomas. And let's hope Kay Simpson's all right. He's just a little bit lame, Tom Morris, just loitering around the hot spot for the Bombers.
Yeah, he stayed on the field, which is quite remarkable. He's not really moving too well. I'll keep an eye on him for you.
Love to loiter, particularly around the hot spot. Cripps out the back, Hooker immediately tackled by Cruiser. Plowman in there. This is really scrappy footy now. It is absolutely persisting down. Over the top of it is Bucky's man Williamson, and he's got Cripps and Watson and all sorts of players on top of him. The Thomas Williams Sharon is going absolutely nowhere, so a throw up.
I reckon the coach would give you a move-on notice from loitering around the hot spot. Go back to the back line,
Someone in the goal square for Carlton.
I've owned a couple of horses that have been booked for loitering. And McCready, now Zaharakis, ball off Merritt, off the deck. Collier comes through, couldn't mark Stanton, a one-on-one. Simpson's got to stand tall. Is he holding on to Stanton? Umpire said play on. Danaher tried to foam it out to Collier. Gibbs the other way, got the footy, bangs it out of there, but he's going to come back because Hurley will mark.
He does, about 75 from home. He goes short to Heppel. Is there time for a last raid by the Bombers and to take a lead going in at half-time? Heppel inside forward 50, wants Danaher or Hooker. Wonderful fist coming across the pack. Well, there's going to be a free kick though. It's going to go to the Blues. It's going to go to Williamson, who's been pretty good for Fags Mitre 10. What do you got on the stat sheet for the boy from Ararat?
God, he's had 10 disposals, 7 kicks for the youngster. Been excellent, 4 tackles as well.
Should have kicked a goal too. Kick towards half-back, wants Casbolt to come across the front of the pack. Heppel couldn't mark. Spills out Watson, McGrath, Brown. Kick smothered by Cruiser coming through. Watson head over the footy, fired it out towards Heppel. Heppel tried to get it up to Merritt. In the way was Curnow. McGrath over the footy. Over the top of him, a couple of Blues coming, trying to stop his progress. One of those Murphy. Curnow also coming in with Kerridge. And we will get a ball up beside the boundary line, about 55, 60 around from the Bomber goal. They're kicking to the punt road in this second quarter.
Tough to call this, Kingy. Cruiser and Leuenberger, and the ball goes off Cruiser's mitten out for another stoppage.
I don't know why Cruiser would try and keep that in then. Would have just let it roll out.
I was watching Cade Simpson move around. He's on one leg, but
He stayed out there.
yeah, he's done well in that contest just before, but he's taken Leuenberger's size 15 boot right in the quad, so he's going to be sore for the next couple of weeks.
So Cruiser, there he is. Simpson battles hard. Randall have got it to Cripps. Quick give to Gibbs. His kick was off the side of the boot to Thomas. Can he release it? Good tackle by Collier. It spills then to Curnow. Curnow to half forward, but reading the fly to the Sharon well was Ambrose. And Ambrose lopes away to half forward. He wants Langford. Will it get there? Plowman did well. Thumped it back into the middle. Brown went off the ground. Eddie Scarlett style. Into half forward. I'll bring it take by Danaher. Hand pass not so good though. Straight to Petrovsky-Seaton. And he's high up and under. A land on the wing.
Casbolt in a wrestle with Ambrose. Ambrose will be first back there. He overran the footy. Casbolt now kick inside forward 50. Pickett, what tricks has he got? He and McGrath. McGrath gave him a little nudge. Pickett near the boundary line. A tight dribbling ball that will roll through from behind. Close on. Carlton by 1. Well, if they were to call it off, And the siren's gone. If we got lightning and stuff, they'd win.
Definitely lightning.
So kick in. It's going to come back though. Cripps, it was hand pass and would have been Williamson, not so great. And there is the siren for half time as the Blues go forward again. And Bucky, they must have heard you in the box because they did blow the siren. 3:10:28 Carlton. They lead Essendon 4-3-27 in driving rain at the MCG. Murphy's kick one. Cruz has got one. Cripps the other. And for the Bombers, Darcy Parish has one. Danaher one. Goddard kick one. The only goal for the Bombers in that second term. And McDonald, Tippenwee kicked a goal in the first quarter. So half-time here at the MCG. And Carlton by 1 point. 3:10:28. Essendon 4-3-27. This is Live Breathe. K-Rock football. Brown was pushed off the kick. It wasn't great. It might sit for Simpson. Coming the other way, Merritt. Oh, he did wonderfully well. Get the ball in front, and now he's goal. And Silvani from behind. Hold the pill.
Back here at the MCG, it's half-time and rain not stopping the Oz kickers and the Little Leaguers. With Carlton leading by a point. 3:10:28. Essendon 4-3-27. Heath Buck looking after the Fags Mitre 10 stats. Let's have a little bit of a look at the numbers and how they're playing out this afternoon.
Yeah, look, start with the tackles because Carlton really got on top in that department. Kingy Fags Mitre 10, 52-42 in the first half after the Bombers led, and we heard then in the highlights, some great tackles and some of their youngsters, Williamson and Silvani, involved in some of those crunching tackles, which resulted in forward 50s for the Carlton Footy Club. Essendon had more disposals in the first half, 181-172. Don't really worry about the disposal efficiency in a game where the ball is spending a lot of the time on the surface of the ground, but just Carlton using the ball pretty well in these conditions. 71% to Essendon and not that great at 58%. It can be excused though in these conditions. The contested possessions up until half-time, both teams really cracking in. The Bombers 85, Essendon 67, and the inside 50s. Carlton have had 9 more in the first half, 13 scoring shots to 7, 29 inside 50s to the Bombers 20, and they're holding up very well defensively, Carlton. Plowman doing an exceptional job down there, and young McCready only had the one disposal, but has really kept Hooker pretty quiet the first half. Individually, Bryce Gibbs was really good in that first half for the Blues, 17 touches and 3 tackles, 211 metres gained by the number 4 for Carlton. Mark Murphy, the skipper, kicked a great goal in that second quarter, which put the Blues in front. He's had 15 disposals. Cripps has been busy with 14 possessions. Simpson, we saw him get injured late, but he continues to battle on. The number 6 for Carlton, he's had 12 touches. Plowman's been excellent down back, 12 disposals. Williamson, the youngster, in his first game, the boy from North Ballarat, he's had 10 disposals and 4 tackles. Doherty's had 9, White 9, was particularly good late in that second quarter. Rowe 9's done a good job, Curnow 8, and Silvani's been busy across half forward, 7 disposals. For the Bombers, Watson's been great with 20 disposals and 5 tackles. Heppel's always busy, 19, 16 to Merritt, was very good in that second quarter. Zach Merritt, he had in that second quarter, he had 13 disposals.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He was quite early, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was quite early for Fags Mitre 10. Who else for the Bombers? Hurley, 12 touches, has done okay since Jacob Wiedering went off the ground with that blood rule. Be interested to see whether Jacob Wiedering will come back onto the field. Goddard's had 14 touches, kicked a great goal from outside 50 in that second quarter. Parrish, 11 touches. Sarakas, 9. Just quickly, King, a couple of players who can live for both teams. Matthew Ryder, mentioned him in that second quarter. Carlton leading goal kicker. Small players should relish in these conditions, just the 3 touches and no scoring opportunities. Casbold, another quiet player. I know it's not his conditions, he just needs to get involved a little more, just the 4 disposals. Palmer, very quiet, just 5 disposals. And I reckon Kerridge has been really fumbly, the former Crow, just 5 disposals. And for the Bombers, nothing from Langford, just 1 touch. Tippenwoody, other than the first goal in that first quarter, just the 1 disposal. Kelly's been quiet with just 5 touches. Hocking, just 4 disposals. I know he does a run-red role, but he really needs to get involved. Hooker, I said, was quiet as well. So a lot of players, including Brett Stanton, can lift just the 7 disposals till half-time, where the Blues lead it by a point. Kingy, 3:10:28. Essendon 4-3-27.
Thank you, Bucky. Comprehensive as always for Fags Mitre 10. Mighty helpful Mitre 10. We will take a break when we come back. We're going to check in with Kent Kingsley for Goddings. His thoughts, of course, for your local Kubota excavator specialist out there on the Western Highway.
They're working hard. Danaher down there. Defensively, ball on the deck. It's built to Murphy. Murphy's flying shot. Goal is a goal. Through a seal edge, the skipper found a passage. He certainly did, and that goal gave the Blues the lead. They lead by 1 point, 3:10, 28, 4-3, 27. Half-time here at the MCG in driving rain. And it is certainly going to be a wet second half. And Ken Kingsley for Goddings. That might suit the Blues. They may not have the experience or the polish of the opposition, but if you're prepared to have a crack, these conditions, anything is possible.
Yeah, that's definitely what they're doing. They're having a crack, and the conditions are really suiting Carlton. They love the stoppages. They're getting the ball out of bounds. They're setting up behind the play, the old traditional wall with a spare. They're taking good defensive positions. So defensively, the Blues have been really good, able to hold Essendon to only the 4 goals. But forwards a little bit of concern. Their 3 goals have come from midfielders in Cruiser, Cripps and Murphy. So they need a few more avenues to goal from their small forwards. Wright's been quiet. But for the Bombers, their key midfielders are getting plenty of the ball. Watson, Heppel all had 15-plus possessions, Merritt. But it's just, given the conditions, it's hard to use the ball well, Benny. So a lot of those possessions have been ineffective or been able to be nullified by the good defensive work by the Carlton players. So, yeah, interesting second half. Carlton are right in this. Should probably win it. You think we've had their fair share of the play. 3 goals, 10. If that had been... 7 goals, 6, they would have been well in front. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they come out after half time.
Just off the footy for a second, and one of your great mates is making his debut on the boundary today. He's picked a superb day to be down on Channel 7. I do speak of the former cat who wore the number 3, Jimmy Bartell. How do you reckon Jimmy be coping down there? Because it is raining sideways out there.
Yeah, look, you wouldn't be happy, I don't think. I did speak to him this morning, and he was like, of all the days I'm going to make me debut, it had to be like this, didn't it? But, look, as a player, he loved the wet, so I'm sure he'll deal with the conditions.
Is there any chance he just chucks in at half-time? This is not for me.
Yeah, probably a bit of a chance. Or, look, maybe you'll see the game out and you go, OK, boys, I'm just going to put a little clause in my contract. It has to be over 15 degrees for me to do the boundary.
The irony in all that is that he relished the wet weather as a player. He'd look out of the race in these sorts of conditions and pencil himself in for 30, not so much as a boundary rider.
No, absolutely. Look, he was probably one of the best, if not the best, wet weather footballer I played with, probably along with Darren Milburn, who managed to find himself best on ground most of the times when it was wet. But yeah, he won't be enjoying it. I'm sure you'll see him huddled under some sort of canopy or trying to get in one of the interchange benches down there.
We might get you to just fire off a text to him and see what his reply is and find out, gauge how his enjoyment levels about today's affair. It's interesting, though, that these conditions, I suppose, luck doesn't often play a part in deciding games. At conditions like this, an element of luck helps. There may be a ball gets out the back, or a lucky ball skids through for a goal, or something happened that is related to the conditions that helps your side. And if you can stay in the game and be rewarded for that element of luck, that's what the Carlton Footy Club would be hoping to do. And same to Essendon. They're looking to go 3 and zip. And, they're only a point down, but the pressure is on them, I suppose, to win.
Yeah, absolutely, from here. But like you said, there's pressure on every contest, and we saw a couple of basic skill errors, and it's easy sitting up in the box, and up here you don't really have an appreciation for how wet it is, but some really basic skill errors. Pickett dropped that one at half forward, and it was able to give Essendon a shot on goal. So, yeah, every possession counts on a day like today, and it's going to be the team that can capitalise going forward and just manufacture a couple of goals out of the wet that will win this game. And Carlton, up to this point, their midfielders kick goals, but they really haven't got much from their forwards. 10 points they've kicked, so I think it'll go right down to the wire. But just on the balance of play and possession, I think you probably have to lean towards Carlton at the moment.
Yeah, no doubt. They're certainly in the contest. Mind you, it's when the ball gets in the hands, even in the wet weather you mentioned during the call there late in that second term, when the ball gets in the hands of players like Watson, Heppel and Goddard, even in these conditions they cut you up. And I think those 3 combined for Essendon's only goal off that second term, off the boot of Goddard from long range, it skidded through. So you don't want to give the class players can still make you pay even in these wet conditions.
Oh, absolutely. And look, on paper, Essendon do have more of those class players, so Carlton want to be mindful of that. But up until now, defensively, been really good. The concern with Carlton is in the first 2 weeks have shown that they've been great in patches, but then gone missing in part of games and had goals kicked on them. So for the young Carlton group, that'll be the focus for the second half, is just to continue it and make sure that they finish this game in full 4 quarters, because that's been the knock on them for the first 2 weeks, just inconsistency.
So what are you thinking in terms of wording your text to Jimmy? Would you like me to send down a pie, or there's a lovely warm coffee up here, or what are you going to run with, and then we can get his response, because no doubt he will respond at some point.
I'll just ask him how he's finding it and whether it's going to be his last time.
So there's rumour Twitter is absolutely abuzz that you have thrown it in at half time.
And not coming out. You've got to have a shower early.
Correct.
I'll send something down and I'll give you a reply.
Okay, nice word from Kent Kingsley up there for Godding. So half time here now. The Little Leaguers are just going about their business. The game getting underway up there at Metricon Stadium, and the Gold Coast, who have been in the news this week, particularly Gary Ablett, one of Geelong's favourite sons. He has been talked about ad nauseum this week, and they have kicked the first goal of the game in the opening couple of minutes. So it's Gold Coast 1 straight. Hawthorn, let's not forget, Hawthorn are 0-2. It would be a long time since they started a season 0-3. But very early going, the opening minutes of that first term, as Hawthorn go forward off the boot of Luke Hodge. But it is Gold Coast 1 straight, and Hawthorn yet to score. We'll keep you updated with those scores as this second half unfolds here at the MCG. Little leaguers are departing. The big leaguers will be back out there shortly. We'll take a break and get back and find out if the Blues can hang on for what would be their first victory of season 2017. This is K-Rock. Live, breathe football.